Here.
Andrew?
Here.
David?
Here.
And Paula? Hooray. Why aren't you on my list? Holy smokes. Mr.
The
Weiss, you're
shadows.
here too. What?
In the shadows.
I guess you are in the shadows. Well, we're going
Here.
to upgrade that soon.
Dennis is
I'm
here.
glad you're here and able to speak for yourself. We would like to look at the consent agenda, but before we approve the consent agenda and the financial part, Joan, would you like to talk about the budget?
Well, I think if we just want to talk about the consent agenda, Val, probably on the financial report.
So last month I said, I know, I hate talking about this. Last month I said I would go back and make sure, so I asked Joan a lot of questions, Joan asked Kelly a lot of questions. I think things are in the wrong spot. I think it just needs to be cleaned up, but I think our numbers are looking okay. Like it appears like this 217 for the current property tax may be several buckets lumped together.
Well, we don't know.
Close-ish.
Actually, it shows as tax collected, and that's incorrect.
Right.
So to accept the financial report when we know it's incorrect, whether it's written incorrectly, the numbers are clearly not correct as tax collected.
Right. So I think it
So-
needs cleaned up. So I don't think we can approve March or April.
Right.
But I believe Kelly said that the numbers would be the end of this week to correct the last couple months. And then we could approve March, April, May, and have kind of a clean end of year next month. We hope.
So we
But I
will-
do, as far as like at least having gone through it, because I felt like I needed maybe a little bit of refresher on where our numbers fall in. Like when we talked about things like, do we have money to spend on lights? I'm pretty confident that we're okay as far as like our actual money in pocket or in hand. I don't know how you'd say that. But I don't think we can approve these from the last couple months.
So I don't really understand what's going on. Is she just piling money in a bucket and not itemizing?
I don't know. On the way the budget has been showing, it has always said tax collected, and then the two mills shows differently. Now it's lumped together into tax collected, and they're not. 2 mills is collected on every property, but the TIF is only on. There are some properties that aren't in the TIF, so they should be separate.
Right.
And then going over numbers with the county, I cannot figure out, and neither can they, how this 217 or 171 or any of those numbers
Wow.
occur, because they don't add up in the reports that the county has given me.
So Paula, can you help us with this?
I'm not a finance person by any stretch, but I can talk to Kelly if you'd like.
Well, yes, if you
But
could.
I can also tell you that in our budget, things are lined up, they are aligned differently. Kelly did not prepare a traditional budget, like you took last year's budget or the year before's budget. She moved things around, so they're in different categories, they exist. And I noticed that somewhat in yours as well, for the promotions or something. I don't remember what it was exactly, but when I went back and did the math and put it in a different column, it worked. Right?
Which is what Valerie found as well. But we can't approve it until it's in the right columns. So if we can find a way to get it back where it belongs, or have a reasonable reason for having had it move out of where it belongs into someplace else, I do feel confident that if we have to spend any money on anything, we've got it. It's just that we can't exactly show how we have it, which is not ideal for a board. So if you could light a little fire, that would really be appreciated.
Well, I'll talk to Kelly, sure.
So I think we have to have a motion, we could have a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes from last month.
I will approve the meeting minutes
And is there a second
I would
What?
second that.
Okay.
for the meeting?
for the meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Fabulous. And then the financial report, I will make a motion that we, once again, cannot approve our financial report until it is edited and corrected. And we hope we'll be able to do 3 months in a row in June, because after you've lost a whole quarter,
Right.
it's pretty embarrassing. So that's my motion, is that we don't approve the financial report again. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor of not?
Aye.
Okay.
Unanimous.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
The director's report, our traveling director.
yes. Okay, so downtown businesses, we had the grand reopening of Ace, which was well-attended, and the store looks amazing. In fact, the entire project, kudos to both of you, Andrew and Jeff, because the entire project looks amazing. The Clausonian units, I'll let you answer that. When will they start to be available?
Likely end of year this year.
Okay. Okay, so we can report that, end of year. Cool. New businesses, we have a couple at 38 East 14 Mile Great Lakes Skate Shop has moved, and a vintage store is going to be applying for a C of O. Two brothers, young entrepreneurs, so that's exciting. We, at 1:30.
Where is that, Joan?
Next
Is it by the brand?
to Let's Art About It.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. 139 West 14 is going to be a new business. I forgot to get the name just now. They're hoping to open in mid-June. It's a retail business, going to specialize in like gourmet food items. So that will be nice. Outside the downtown, 331 North Main, which is the former Famous Chicken, has a new owner. They passed site plan. And that is going to be a breakfast lunch restaurant called Biscuits and Gravy.
Yeah, and the
Carry
chicken
out,
is going
or-
to stay on the roof, right?
Chicken's going to stay.
Nice.
For now, anyway.
Yeah.
Is it going to remain carry-out only, or?
No, it's going to be a sit-down. They're remodeling the inside to add sit-down.
15 or
Gonna be-
16 seats,
Yeah,
right?
it's going to be real small.
Oh, boy, when did they open?
Yeah, well, they just passed site plan, so they're going through engineering now, and I think that'll be approved very soon. So they've got some parking lot work and some other things to do, and some renovations inside for sure.
Just as a quick side note, I've been in that building, and it has a little basement, and it's timber construction. And it's pegged one timber into another. It's fascinating to look at, just to remind everybody how old that place is.
That's cool.
It's fascinating.
I wonder what year that was built.
Yeah,
I don't know.
knew
I'll have
that, but
to
I
look.
forgot.
Yeah.
It's very old.
And I think there's something that I'd like to make note of for, all of the listening public that watches our meetings, that all the restaurant businesses in the downtown and throughout the city are looking for workers of every kind. So,
Any business, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Everybody is struggling for employees and trying to figure out how to not burn out their staff. So anyone looking for work, it's out there. In other development in the city, 516 North Main, which is the mixed-use development across from the library here on Main Street, will begin underground work for the sewers. They've got the whole lot cleared now. They will begin underground work in mid-June. Traffic on Roth will be affected for a little while. Elliott Park on Rochester Road, 8 units are complete and ready to occupy. The entire project is anticipated to be complete by July or end of July. As far as Main Street, Val and I attended the conference in Richmond and picked up information from Sessions, so we'll be able to share that. But seriously, we just got in at 7 o'clock yesterday morning, got up at 4 a.m. for a flight. So I think we're still catching up.
Thank you for taking that thrifty flight. I know what it's like. It looks like a good idea when you plan it, and then when you actually have to get up and get on it, you think, what was I thinking?
Worst of an idea, then.
Yeah.
I don't handle 4 a.m. very well.
We were both trying to catch up on work the night before, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, crap, it's midnight, Sleep fast, because we have 4 hours. So that always goes so well. On tech visit, I met with Annika, who's kind of our Main Street Oakland County rep. And we agreed, and the higher-ups there agreed that our greater need for the tech visit this year is to help fund amenities for the social district, which would include the alley, so we've got to come up with some concepts to present to them for that. And Val has done one for the alley, which I can show you when we get there. And that they will also, they have another fund called In Your Town Training, and they have agreed to let us take that and lump that into the tech visit bucket. So that will give us a little more money to work with. I'm still waiting for final numbers. It's going to be between $6,500 and $8,500. I'm just waiting for them to, they thought they might be able to get the little extra money in the tech visit, so waiting to hear. On grants, we have the ongoing grant, which is the Michigan Enhancement Grant for the new Hawk signal to be, and that's to be signed by the city manager. The paperwork's all ready. I've just been waiting for Mr. Raker to be ready to focus on other things besides budget. He said he's ready to sign off on that paperwork now, so hopefully we could do that today. We have the invasive species grant, which I'm working with county parks to determine plantings for those pet islands. That's the $1,000 we have for plantings. On new submissions, there was I mentioned an MEDC, Michigan Economic Development Corp grant that was due June 1st, or is June due 1st? Due June 1st for streetscape elements. But after looking at it, it requires a match, and we aren't in a position to do a match. So I'm going to have to let that one go. There is another grant available through SEMCOG for EV charging stations that I'm attended a training on with SEMCOG, and we'll be seeing if we can manage to apply for that one. That's all I've got.
Thank you very much. Any questions, anybody? Okay, we don't have the city manager here today, so we'll move on to the project committee. Let's talk about Dine Clausen.
All right, Dine Clausen, we got a weather permitting. We have our spring open air fair on Saturday. This will be the opening of the social district. Cups are on their way today.
They're here.
They're here, fantastic. So we'll be
Hooray.
distributing cups out to the restaurants. Joan, do we have a plan for that?
No.
No, okay. We'll discuss off what we want to do. But yeah, we'll distribute the cups, and then basically from there, if everything goes well with the weather, we're going to have street performers, Whiskey's doing a pig roast, and a few other things are kind of happening around town, talking to the other vendors and whatnot. So pretty good reaction from everybody, which has been kind of great to see. So yeah, just fingers crossed that we have a break in the weather.
What is our plan?
If the weather
Our
breaks.
contingent, yeah.
My thought would be that moving it to the following weekend.
Can we just move it to Labor Day weekend? And when do we decide and how do we communicate this to everyone?
That would
Memorial
be-
Day weekend?
Pardon?
Memorial Day weekend, you mean? Not Labor Day, isn't?
I'm sorry, I always get those two
I
mixed
know.
up.
I do
Valentine's
too.
Day, Labor Day. That one at the end of May. The one where you can wear white shoes,
We're thinking the 28th.
28th.
Okay.
I think we'd better advise all the participants. My performers are
Yeah.
very nervous about it because they don't want to be still walking in the wet.
I mean, or the lightning. you
Or the
know.
lightning, or, you know.
Wouldn't be quite the same without the stilts.
And if it rains, it'll extinguish their flaming, whatever they're flaming. So I don't know when we call it or when we make the decision.
You want to say 2 o'clock today? We'll check the weather,
That
kind of see
sound
what the
good?
report looks like, and kind of go from there.
Does anybody have experience with rain delays? And
We come across this every year with cinema,
Yeah.
stressing over watching the weather and what's going to happen, and
Yeah, are we actually listening to the weather people today on this forecast
Yeah.
for Saturday, is it?
yeah, I saw thunderstorms. Thunderstorms usually mean if it's not, hey, casual rain, light rain, that you might be able to get through. Thunderstorms are usually going to happen.
do we have vendors at this event?
We have a few. We do not have the amount of vendors that we hope to, but we do have a few. And one of them was the new Clay Guild that we
Yep.
asked to come down. And they wanted to bring a pottery wheel, which means they're going to need electricity, which is very difficult to do in the rain.
Yeah.
They won't need water.
They won't need water, yeah, but somehow you got to make that wheel go around.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's talk about it after the meeting and make a determination on when the cutoff date is, because
Yeah.
we called off the cinema, I think, one of the first years we had it, because it was going to rain, and I was just real nervous about watching rain right then, and that year it didn't rain. But other years, it said, we did have that one year where it rained through the middle of the movie. I think other than 10 of us, everyone left.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
that's,
But out of what, 16 years, it got rained out once?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. We'll take those odds.
Okay, well, let's talk about it
Yep.
mid-afternoon today and decide what we're going to do. And
Yeah, I think if it was saying thunderstorms on cinema night, I'd probably say, it's not going to be comfortable.
Yep.
What else?
That's pretty much it for Dunn Clausen right now. We'll have new events coming up here in the near future, but we'll discuss those at the next meeting.
Terrific.
There is one thing on Dine Clausen, if we can get, and I don't know, Val, if you have time or if someone has time to edit that logo.
Yep.
I've got somebody helping me today at 2 o'clock with the website on WordPress, because I want to put that widget on the homepage with a link to the Dine Clausen page.
Yeah.
So we decided on the logo showing a bite out of the Foursquare.
Yep.
So, and what we had on the logo so far was like scallops. If we can get a
Yeah.
bite shown, we'd be in good shape. Then I can get that on the website.
Good.
So Charlie, you don't have anybody any longer?
What time do you need that by? You need it this afternoon to meet with the,
Unless they can show me how to do it and I put a temporary one on and then change it out later. But if we had something with a bite, I could complete it.
Okay. Landscaping.
Yeah, we don't have a landscaping committee person here, but they have decided on the color combination and the types of plants to put around in the clock and along the wall, and 2 planters. They need money to buy plants. I told them I'll go ahead and front the money if they just want to try and get them, and then we'll figure out budget on a few of these smaller items. We had some money in PayPal from our October events that I just transferred in, so I know that we have that money to use.
Right.
So that's why it was safe to say I think we can go ahead with the purchase on the lights for the alley and for the flowers, because I know exactly what that amount is that I transferred in.
So we're going to do around the clock, I would assume,
Yeah.
and some, maybe at the 4 corners. I don't know what the plan is, just to put
Just
something.
around the clock,
Something in.
around the wall, and the 2 opposite corners, there's plantings in the ground at the corners, and those are just daylilies, and they wanted to put some annuals in there. They also, we had talked about, since there aren't going to be hanging baskets, doing some banners for color. And that, anytime we have done banners or, trying to share this, when we have done banners or hanging baskets, because the streetlights are beyond the DDA, that has always been a split cost with the city. So I have a quote. This is the banner that they decided on right here, which is a custom banner. And it is a vendor that Margulis company has used. We've looked at a lot of stock items, and they had more of a, I don't know, cartoony look to them than this does. And this has all the color that they were looking for with
And
pinks,
you know
purples,
somebody's
blues.
going to ask.
Huh?
You know somebody's gonna ask what kind of flowers those are.
Oh, I don't know what kind of flowers there. Somebody else does. People on the landscaping committee knew, that's not my area. But we would like to do every other banner with these and take down the regular blue ones. So give us some color.
What would the cost be for that, Joan?
These are double-sided, custom, $126 a piece, which we looked at, and then we don't have shipping because they're a local company.
Yeah, it's not
We looked at some that were the least costly we could find in a stock banner was $100 a piece, and then you add on shipping and a longer wait time. And again, they looked, the difference is night and day.
And how many do we need?
Total, we would need 25, so we would split the cost with the city. It came to, and I'm sorry, I don't have that in front of me, I gave those numbers, but $3,100, I believe. So again, if we split that cost with the city, we'd be looking at around $1,500 for new banners.
Well, I think it's a very good alternative to the baskets that have looked so sad for the last couple of years.
Yep, I agree.
Cost-wise, I actually think we're going to come out about the same.
Okay.
So if you.
Do we need a motion to approve these with our money that we don't know if we have?
Yeah, it's on new business here. If we want to jump ahead to that, I would recommend that we do the same thing with this as we did with the light purchase, and that is contingent upon determining actual budget numbers. We should be able to go ahead. But again, if I have that money that I know we just transferred in from PayPal, which is a set amount, I think we could do the banners and the lights and hopefully have a little bit left over for flowers. We'll just work with that pocket of money that I know is true.
Okay, do we have a motion to spend the money that we're not sure that we have?
I'll make that motion.
No, second.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I think we also want to say this is going to be contingent on the city
It's absolutely contingent on city approval.
of them
For the
doing
other
the
half.
other half. Yeah.
Okay. Sophisticated dealings here at the DDA. Now, this is a very exciting topic. The alley, I don't know if you've noticed, but there is a sign over the alley.
Yeah, it needs a standing ovation.
It's a vintage sign, because we've had it really.
5 years in the making. Jeez, oh Pete's.
It is, it's gorgeous, it looks great, it's everything that it was supposed to be. Val has kind of, here's the sign, and Val's kind of done a rendering to add some seating and
Yeah.
flowers and lighting.
There we
So,
go.
Very exciting. I saw two ladies in there yesterday.
Yep.
So it's getting there, and so Val, do you want to explain your rendering here?
Alley committee conversations too, or?
Yeah.
We're there. Yeah, so the lights was obviously the first step, and then we had talked about, phase 2 being art and other seating, and, the kind of the fun thing about going to the conference is all the things we get to see there. So I will come back to our alley meeting next week with new ideas on just what some other cities have done in alleys. Also, there's a big vendor fair, like an exhibitor fair at the conference, so Joan and I found some planters that just need water every 2 weeks that, we've seen before, every year that same people are there, but potentially that's a good option for that barrier at the end of the alley where we don't want cars coming through, but it's got to be movable. They have some pretty good size, nice, sharp-looking planters that we can quote out. And I think if we use the tech visit funds and everything, we'll have a little bit of budget to get furniture in there, public art. I know I talked to Kathy about the landscaping, and she was excited to add, kind of mimic what they do and what we just approved for the landscape committee at the entrance. So I was trying to capture that too. We would bring the flowers in and just activate the space.
That might be a good thing for local businesses to sponsor.
Oh,
We
that's
might,
a
if
good
we do
idea.
put in planters in there, it might be a great way for each of us to pay for one planter and have our names on them.
That is a really good idea. And that's, that's another example. One of the things I told Joe and I was excited about out of a session was, some of these ideas that are like relatively small cost, either to our organization or to businesses. And there's a lot of really cool ideas out there that you find at like all these other cities, like mini grant programs. Like you can, do like a mini A-frame signage grant or, sponsor a planter pot.
So pot will finally come to Clausen? No, different, sorry.
I realized the error of my.
Wait. Okay, well, let's pursue the planters and the planter promotion, because I think that that'd be a great thing for most of us. Can't be that much money.
Yep.
Have we
Okay.
decided where?
And I know how much money I have, so, many of us could actually write a check and know it'll clear.
Have we decided where the end of that alleyway is with regard to the other side? Where I believe it's a dentist and a
Well, it
hair
has,
salon?
yeah, it has to stop before the dentist because he's
Okay,
got
so it'll
private
stop
parking
at
there.
the end of that building then.
It's
And
where the
that'll be-
pavers end,
Okay,
right?
Yeah,
all right, so they'll have no issues.
no,
Great,
I mean, they may, but it's still
right?
accessible.
Still pedestrian right away.
Yeah,
Okay,
the parking spaces to them are still accessible,
right.
so. And I think Val has shown on here, if you can see that those benches are
Fold down.
yes, pull-down benches
Mounted.
that are fastened to the building.
Awesome. Good thing we know the guy that owns the building.
Yeah, good thing he's very helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we talked about a combination, but to keep seating there in the winter when they need to plow, I think is important, and that's like kind of I don't know who found that idea, but it was a cool idea it's probably Dennis,
The guy who owns the building.
right?
Okay, anything else about the alley?
Looks great.
It really looks nice.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
What an improvement.
Then, under new business, since we've dispatched the seasonal banner question, consideration of the 22-23 annual budget. Clearly, we cannot do any budget consideration at this moment, so I think we have to table that for next month, when hopefully we've got the numbers so we can consider a budget for next year.
Was it approved last night, Paula?
It was.
Okay, I did not watch the meeting. I was
Yeah,
very tired.
What
are you doing?
Val and I have talked about this. Val's our treasurer. I mean, we know, as you look at this budget that you have in front of you, current property tax all across the line except maybe 2021. All those other numbers are not correct.
I don't get it. I just don't get it.
I know the 2021-22 activity through April 30th, 2022 at 217,000 is absolutely not a true number. And I have all the numbers from the county because they have already done their year end with the tax tribunals being over, any adjustments have been made, delinquent taxes and fines have come in. So we know exactly what was collected and it doesn't meet that number. And I think that is why we've not had financial reports for the last few months, is because it keeps showing that this is the tax collected and it's not correct.
No.
So one of the things that was not done is that there is a brownfield, and that is an agreement when that money is paid back to the county out of TIF. That's not been done. It's not been shown on the future budget. So the only number on revenue side that I know is absolutely true is on 2022-23 proposed budget, the $28,384 is the levy. Other than that, it all has to
The
be
current property
adjusted.
tax was off by a couple thousand or something. We had that number.
Was that a lucky guess on somebody's part?
Tax revenue ending in 2022, it should be 167, 172. That's adding in.
Oh, yeah, that's.
That doesn't account for, that should be everything. On the new budget, total capture, about 176,000. Then you add in the millage of 28,000, and you get $204,935. The brownfield has to be taken out of that, so that still needs to be deducted. That's to be determined.
The
And
city
that's-
actually has 2 brownfields, correct?
Right, but we only have the one in the DDA. The other one is
Correct.
for 711 on Rochester Road.
Right.
So, the finance director said that all these numbers will be adjusted, but it wouldn't be till July.
Wow.
So you can,
I've called the city manager and haven't spoken to him again. I don't know where else to go for help with this, but it's really difficult for us to proceed, obviously. So,
we can value, we talked about, you can approve the budget, but add all those contingencies in.
Restrictions, absolutely, a lot of them.
Right.
Do you-
I really
do
am
you
not
wanna go through
comfortable
those, Val?
approving a budget that is full of stuff that's not right.
Yeah, because what if it isn't corrected correctly?
I'm okay with buying flower pots or banners or
Can't depend
lights
on
for
it, that's for
$1,000,
sure.
but I don't think we can approve our entire operating budget when it's not, we can't.
I would agree.
Okay.
Do we want to vote on approving the budget?
No, there's nothing we can approve.
We really don't have.
Okay, then I would like to suggest we approve the budget. All in favor? Or does somebody want to suggest the approval of the budget? I mean, second the motion to approve
Okay.
our budget?
Yeah, I'll suggest that we look at the budget for 22, 23 with the changes that the property tax would increase to the correct amount that we think is 176,172, and that some of the buckets under the appropriations are repaired to show, our committee level budgets that we set normally in
So
the
are these
years.
contingencies being added into the motion so that
Yes.
this needs to show this amount and this needs to show
Right.
this amount, or it will not get approved?
Right, so instead of
Right.
grouping everything under operating supplies, we would divide it out like we normally do for design, promotions, organizational, and that we also would include the appropriate bucket for the brownfield adjustment back to the county.
Well,
Well, I'm just going to mention to everyone, we don't have to approve this motion. We can also just, even with the contingencies, flat out refuse to approve this budget. So do we have a second for Valerie's motion?
Is this going to affect anything as far as the DDA is concerned if we delay this for another month, or who knows how long this is going to take?
we
It-
could,
it
I mean,
makes
if
us
it
look
gets,
bad.
if it gets cleared up, we can also call a special meeting. I mean, if we had some true numbers next week, I was told that we would have true numbers for the 2021-22 budget by the end of the week. Then we could approve our financial reports.
And these are
That-
the
that
numbers we're
would-
giving her, correct? These are the numbers we're giving her,
Well, the county is giving them.
Right.
We've just both gotten
because
them.
that due diligence wasn't done by anyone else other than
I
us
don't know. I
to the
can't,
county.
I just know that, it needs to be amended. So either we can
Right.
wait and see if this budget is amended, or add contingencies we can approve it pending amended current property tax numbers, amended millage levy numbers, amended brownfield numbers, and an amended surplus, because we are, until the brownfield is paid, until the revenue is correct, we don't know what the surplus is either.
Right.
So we can add all those
So-
amendments, or we can wait and see at the end of the week what transpires.
Shall we have a vote?
Ideally, even
on-
if she can move up to have them ready in June so that we approve next year's budget before the end of this fiscal year, I mean, that would be ideal. If we have to wait
Sure.
until July, then we're approving it once the year's started, but.
Right, okay. And do you want, so those are the options, to either wait until June
So does
See
that
if-
mean we're
see if
giving her
everything's-
that much time to give us the correct numbers?
Well, she's not our, I mean, we pay for the service to
Right.
the city. She's not our employee, but so we can ask the city manager to see if we can get the amendments in June, which would be next month's meeting, and pass the budget then.
Or before, if they're done
Or
before, we
before,
could have a special meeting,
Yeah.
because
We've waited this
In
long, why not
favor of
wait?
before.
till June?
we all certainly enjoy another meeting.
I miss seeing you guys.
Excuse me?
I miss seeing you guys.
All right, so what do we want for a proposal here?
It
lot.
sounded like you
Right,
were
so,
waiting.
I'm sorry, Valerie
Do we
proposed
want to
that
vote on the
we
motion that I just made, and we'll just
Yes.
vote it down then?
vote on the motion that we just made to accept the budget with about 100,000 amendments to it. All in favor?
No.
All against?
Yes.
Once again, unanimous front from the DDA. So we do not approve our budget for this year, or for this month, or for next, I'm sorry. We cannot approve the 22-23 budget until we have correct numbers.
Sadly.
But we don't need another motion to look at it next month, right? We'll just
No,
put it
we're
on
just
the
going to hope that.
agenda. Okay.
And as a side note, we will convene again, should we need to approve the budget when we get the numbers.
Sure.
And we can add that in to say that,
Okay.
add that in.
Okay.
Anybody else got anything?
What's the weather looking like Saturday?
25% chance of thunderstorms according to weather.
It went down, so that's good.
It went down.
From 80%.
What did it say, Paula?
75% chance.
75% chance of thunderstorms.
Not sprinkles.
Well,
Well,
I don't
we
know, but-
agreed that we'll talk about this later this afternoon and
2 o'clock.
either do it or pull the plug.
Yep.
we can, I mean, the social district can always start, but
Yeah.
the performers may not be something that
Yeah, I think
happens.
the-
It
Well,
may
it's
not-
going to be, if there's a lot of rain, it's going to be difficult for the vendors. I don't know if other people have sidewalk sales. We had a bunch of stuff planned for outdoors. We had outdoor performers. So all that stuff is going to be really risky.
yeah.
Plus, people don't want to go out in the rain.
Right, they're not going to.
Exactly.
Right.
And they don't want to walk around with their cocktails getting, for the first time,
They have
Water.
lids, so-
Diluted.
getting them diluted.
It's wrong. But we're still going to deliver. the
Oh, one more
cups.
question about the cups.
Yeah.
Who owns the cups? Did you pay for them?
I did pay for them, yeah.
So how are we going to handle this?
Divvy it up.
What?
Just divvy it up
We can't do
to
anything
each
until our
business.
budget. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we can't pay until we have our budget.
How many did we buy?
We have 4,000 here now.
Okay.
And the rest are coming.
So we talked about two different things. We talked about splitting the 4,000 equally among that, and all of us would be happy to write you a check post haste.
Sounds good.
But then when we have the inventory that we're holding someplace, the DDA should really buy it from you, and then we should sell it to our constituents.
Yeah, that
Sounds
sounds, if everybody starts out with the same amount and then buy more as needed from the DDA,
Right.
Yep.
okay, we just determine what that,
Dennis, how much is the
Beginning amount
second
is-
bill? Do you know?
I don't know, but I can get that pretty quickly for you.
Okay. All right, then that's what we'll do. Anybody else have anything exciting to add? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Go to work.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Hopefully, next meeting, we will not spend so much time talking about the budget that we don't have.